Home and away spoilers. Mackenzie and Mali have life-changing decisions to make. Next week on Home and Away in the UK. In the show's penultimate week for 2024, Mackenzie looks to the future of Salt, whilst Mali gets the opportunity of a lifetime. Note, if you watch the lunchtime airings on Channel 5, these will now begin at the earlier time of 1 p.m. for the final 2 weeks of the season. Things are up in the air at Summer Bay Surf Life-Saving Club next week, with both Mackenzie and Mali having big decisions to make about their futures. Mac has recently found herself with a new business partner, after late co-owner Felicity left her share in Salt to brother Cash. Cash already has a career in the police force, so Mac wasn't expecting that he would want to take an active role in the restaurant. Determined to honor his sister's memory, Cash had originally shown up asking to look over the books, determined to make suggestions and help out however he could. This soon caused tension with Mac however, and bar worker Eden opted to quit rather than face the heartache of seeing her ex-fiancé every day. A pep talk from John finally prompted Cash to rethink his involvement and decide to take a step back after all, becoming a silent partner in Salt. Next week, Mac is thoughtful as she returns to the Bay from the city. Having met with her solicitor to update the paperwork accordingly, she tells Mali that the solicitor pointed out her various other options, including buying Cash out, or selling and splitting the profits. Mali has a dilemma of his own however. Recent weeks have seen the board shop owner enter one of his artworks into a competition, after being badgered into doing so by Kirby. On learning he had made the list of finalists, Mali got a little carried away with himself as Kirby egged him on, and was disappointed to later discover he had not emerged victorious. There was an unexpected development however when one of the judges, an art gallery owner no less, later contacted Mali with an offer to represent him. Mali was reluctant at first, not believing he was an artist, but eventually agreed to set up a meeting with Kirby's encouragement. When Mali meets up with Robert in Salt, Robert explains that he would need about 15 paintings in order to start up a solo exhibition. This would obviously mean a big commitment from Mali, as Robert points out that he would have to give up the board shop in order to work on his art full-time. That said, he would be talking a 6-figure pay packet whilst working as an artist. Robert gives Mali time to think things over, and when he later discusses things with Mac, they're both stressing out over their respective businesses. Mac doesn't believe Cash would be interested in selling his share of Salt, while Mali is unsure whether he'd be able to churn out painting after painting for the sake of profit. At the surf club, John asks Mac if her solicitor has received his updated paperwork, and how things are going in general. Mac points out that things are a little up in the air as far as Salt is concerned, leading John to immediately panic about the club losing the rental income. Alf tells Mac to do whatever she needs to do, whilst simultaneously telling John to pull his head in. The last thing Mac needs is him badgering her. When Mali suddenly pipes up that he'd also like to have a conversation with Alf about his shop, John despairs. In the office, Mali tells Alf about the offer, and whilst Alf points out that if something seems too good to be true, it often is, Mali explains he's already done his research. The guy is legit, which in some way disappoints Mali. If he was known to be dodgy, then it would have made his decision a lot easier. Meanwhile, Mac visits Cash in order to discuss their options, but is put out when Cash is clearly distracted. Cash has decided, against John and Tane's advice, to try and track down the girl who received Flick's heart and lungs. In his search he has found an online forum, where he has left a message in hope that it will be picked up by the same girl who sent him a letter via the organ donation organization. As Cash constantly refreshes the page for messages, Mac's words seem to be going in one ear and out of the other. Eventually Cash just tells Mac that she can do what she wants with Salt, as he doesn't really care. Mac is stunned, and lets herself out. When Mali and Mac finally reconvene in Salt, they both now have the potentially life-changing answers they've been searching for. But what exactly have they decided?
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của Home and Away Spoiler Today. Xin chào.